So when you create with abandon, you give yourself up to the pure passion and internal love of whatever you love to create. You close the door to worry, to stress or self-judgment, and the door of all the concerns you have about what others might think about what you are creating at this moment. When you can close the door to these thoughts, you allow your true creativity to flow like a beautiful fountain.
Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we uncover and discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach living just outside of the Windy City, Chicago. But mostly, I'm someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into nearly everything in our lives. Each week, we are going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity.
Ever since I was in grade school, I have always loved the theater, going to the theater and seeing live performances. Now, I grew up in a mid-sized city that was not close to any Broadway or off-Broadway performances, but my mom would take me to community theater and semi-professional theaters in the Quad Cities where I grew up. So we went to outdoor performances, we went to theater productions at the nearby colleges, and organized community theater groups. We saw all kinds of shows. And this is where my love for musicals and mysteries and Shakespeare began. And in the past 25 years, I've had some fun on my own, actually being in some community theater productions. And one of the shows I was in was Godspell. It was one of my favorites. And I'm sure that there are a lot of you out there that are familiar with this musical. And while we were learning one of the music numbers, the sheet music gave the cast this note in the music saying, "Dance with abandon." Now, there was no choreography given, just dance with abandon. How joyous is that? I loved this note and I have never forgotten it. Now, these two words, they are so descriptive, right? Dance and abandon. I have often thought how important the word abandon can be when I pair it with other things in my life. And that, my friend, is what we're going to chat about today. So welcome back to another episode of BDI Create Today. This is a podcast where we explore and celebrate the many ways creativity can enhance your life. Today, we're going to look at the word abandon. We're going to observe it in a positive light so that you will be able to use this word as a tool to actually strengthen your creative happiness. Yay! So first, let's take a look at the word abandon. Now, the Merriam-Webster dictionary gives this definition to the word abandon. When you look at the word abandon as a verb, the definitions in the dictionary are to give up the control or influence of another person or agent, to give up the intent of never again claiming a right or interest, or to withdraw from, often in the face of danger or encroachment, such as abandon ship, or withdraw protection, support, or help from something or someone, such as they abandoned their family. Now, these sad definitions have even a few more examples, but I think you get the point that as a verb, the word abandon is a little depressing. And then to add to the gloom, in the dictionary, they always give a list of the synonyms, those words that are similar to the word you're looking up. And here are the synonyms that are similar to the verb abandon. And here's the words that were provided: give up, surrender, yield. And the list went on. So right now, we're not feeling a reason to feel joy here, right? Yes, we are not. But here's a very odd thing about the word abandon. The definition of abandon as a noun is very different from the verb abandon. As a noun, the definition of abandon is a thorough yielding to natural impulses, especially enthusiasm and exuberance. Wow, that's pretty cool. And then the synonyms provided were ease, lightheartedness, naturalness, spontaneity, spontaneousness, unconstraint, uninhibited. Now, those are some pretty fun words, right? How odd that one word can have such different emotions between its definition as a verb, which is an action, and its definition as a noun, which is a person, place, or thing. And to make this word even odder, today we are taking the positivity of the noun definition of abandon, and then we're going to use this noun as a verb. We're going to turn it on its head, and we're going to make this positive noun a positive verb. So much fun. I love grammar. Now, if you're thinking, okay, Beth, where is this going? Let's stop being geeky about words in the dictionary and let's get into whatever it is you're trying to talk about today. Okay, here we go. Hang with me for just a second. There's one more fascinating tidbit that the dictionary provides that will shed some light on why I'm talking about abandon and how it's going to make you a happier creative. Now, beneath the definitions for the verb and the noun and the synonyms that accompany the word, Merriam-Webster provided this note called "Did You Know?" And here's the gold that captures today's focus. And I quote from Merriam-Webster: "You may associate this word abandon with the act of leaving and never returning, given the familiarity of the word abandon. But the noun abandon, with its more pleasant connotations of freedom, is likely here to stay despite being a relative newcomer." Now, here's where things get interesting. Merriam-Webster continues this little story by saying, Louisa May Alcott recognized the word abandon's utility when she used it when talking about Jo in Little Women. She writes that, quote, "When the writing fit came on, she gave herself up to it with entire abandon and led a blissful life, unconscious of want, care, or bad weather." Unquote. And this, my friend, this is the reason I want to talk about the noun definition for the word abandon. And today we will link abandon to our happiness as a creative. Are you ready? Here goes. Today, when we talk about abandon, we're focusing on the positive aspect, like Jo in Little Women, and how she just let herself loose when the fit of writing came on. So it's about creating purely for yourself, embracing the freedom and joy that comes with the act of being creative. Oh, so good. So when you create with abandon, and I suggest that you take a moment right now to replace the word create with whatever your creative passion might be. Paint, sing, dance, draw, create spreadsheets, bake, garden. So you'll replace create with paint with abandon, dance with abandon, create spreadsheets with abandon, bake with abandon. See where I'm going with this, right? Great. So when you create with abandon, you give yourself up to the pure passion and internal love of whatever you love to create. And when you are in the act of doing this thing of abandon, You close the door to worry, to stress or self-judgment, and the door of all the concerns you have about what others might think about what you are creating at this moment. When you can close the door to these thoughts, you allow your true creativity to flow like a beautiful fountain. Now, research shows that engaging in creative activities can reduce stress, improve mood, and increase overall happiness. But if you create with the weight of your inner critic sitting on your shoulders, it is difficult to let the true benefits of creativity flood you with its goodness. Creating with abandon is incredibly beneficial for your mental and emotional well-being. When you free yourself from the constraints of judgment and expectations, and this judgment that includes your own criticism and the criticism that you fear or expect from others, even if you didn't actually hear it from them. When you allow yourself to just let go, when you abandon your fears and doubts about what you're creating, then you open up a space for genuine expression and innovation and just pure play. Now, a study from the American Journal of Public Health highlighted that art making can significantly lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol. And additionally, a survey by the British Journal of Occupational Therapy found that creative activities help boost self-esteem and provide a sense of accomplishment. Those are all great things. So creating with abandon isn't just fun, it's also a powerful tool for your mental health. This is the stuff that will make you a happier creative. It's cool, huh? Now let's take a quick break and listen to a word from our sponsor. And my friend, that would be me. Are you interested in exploring your creativity with Procreate on your iPad? Get my free Kickstart video. It's going to give you a beautiful tour of how to use Procreate to create your own art. You'll get information about brush libraries, layer and layer options, explanations of the tool icons, and so much more. Just go to www.bdi-create.today/Kickstart to get my free Procreate Kickstart video. Now, just me saying create with abandon is not going to magically allow yourself to truly understand what this means or how to actually do it. So let's dig a little deeper. First, here's an experiment. It's going to be super easy for you to do this week. I want you to find a moment when you're by yourself and then just simply turn on some fabulous music that you love, that makes you feel upbeat. And then, my friend, just dance. That saying, dance like no one is watching. Just do that. Just dance. Feel the music and move to the feeling the music is giving your heart. Just move. Abandon your cares and feel the joy of the song and just get your groove on. And when the song is over, I want you to realize that you have just done something with abandon. You've just danced with abandon. And truth be told, I dance in the kitchen a lot. Now, my kids are grown and I work from home, and Tom has a real job in an actual office. So I am home by myself a lot. So wherever you happen to be in your house, this is a definite try this at home. Get used to the feeling of, oh, what the hell, no one's watching, and just bust your moves. And then, my friend, feel the feeling of doing something with abandon. My friend, you've just created with abandon just by dancing in your kitchen. That's pretty sweet. Now, let's expand the opportunities of creating that feeling of positive abandon that can increase your happiness to a few more ideas that you can try at home. Number one, and if you haven't already done this, do it. And when I say this, you'll be like, oh, I do that all the time. The first thing on my list is sing in the shower or the car or wherever. Yep. Open up those lungs and you just let your feelings push their way out through your rendition of whatever. Just sing for the glory of making blissful sounds just for yourself. And you'll be creating with abandon. Number two, try an abstract painting. Just grab some paints and a canvas and let your emotions guide your brush. Don't think about the final product. Don't try and make something. Don't try and make the best painting you've ever made. Just focus on your feeling and the act of painting. Number three, improvisational music. Now, if you play an instrument, spend some time improvising. Let go of trying to read music or perform perfectly and just see where your creativity takes you. Number four is mindful doodling. So I want you to keep a sketchbook handy and doodle whenever you have a few minutes. And don't worry about making a masterpiece. Just enjoy the act of drawing. And my friends, I want you to stay tuned a little bit more about doodling. We're going to explore the world of doodling more very soon. So doodle now and then doodle soon with me, and we'll discover more about the benefits that doodling can bring to you. So stay tuned. Number five, collage making. Gather materials like magazines and newspapers, fabric scraps and glitter, ribbons, whatever. Make a collage. Let your intuition guide you as you arrange and glue the pieces, and just enjoy the feeling of the paper and the materials and the sensation of gluing your found images to illustrate a thought or a story. Number six, cooking without a recipe. Now, this could turn into a hot mess, but head into the kitchen and create a meal without following a recipe. Just use whatever ingredients you have on hand and let your creativity shine. Hopefully, you'll end up with something that's edible, but even if it's not, have some fun just loving the sounds and smelling all the goodness that you are creating through your sautéing and your cooking and your baking. Have some fun. Now, I hope this list will inspire you with other ideas that can let you just abandon your cares and focus on creativity and expressing your emotions, even if those emotions aren't necessarily joyful. Letting out whatever is pent up inside you is going to make you creatively healthier because you are letting loose, you're venting whatever is building. When you incorporate practices like this with abandon into your day, you'll be able to embrace the freedom of releasing the stress of what will people say, or, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough for anyone to see this, because you're doing something just for you. No one ever has to see it or hear it or taste it. And you're doing this just to experience the joy or whatever emotion emits from this abandon. And I want you then to realize that this is going to benefit your creative voice, and this is going to provide this mental strength to your life. Now let's look more at some benefits that creating with abandon can bring to your life. Here is a list of benefits that you will enjoy as a result when you do what you do creatively and you do it with abandon. Number one, you can break through creative blocks. When you're not worried about making something perfect, you're more likely to experiment and take risks. And the act of not caring what ends up or how this is going to turn out or what people might think, this can help you actually let go of a lot of stress, and it will open the door to help you realize new ideas or find solutions that weren't apparent when you were stressed about perfection. So creating with abandon can help you break through creative blocks, discover new ideas, and even solve problems. Pretty nice, huh? Number 2, enhance your personal growth. When you allow yourself to create with abandon without fear of your inner critic's judgment or fear about how others will judge you, this allows you to freely focus and explore different facets of your own personality and experiences. And this can lead to greater self-expression, greater self-awareness, and personal growth. Hello, creative confidence and self-worth. And this can start with just dancing in your kitchen, my friend. Number 3, finding joy in the process. When you create with abandon, you're not creating for what you think others will want or what others will buy or approve of or think about you as a person. Instead, you're creating purely for the sheer joy of doing whatever your creative passion is. The process itself becomes the reason you are doing what you're creating. And this is more rewarding for your heart, mind, body, and soul. You're creating just to create. You're not creating to reach an end result. Do you see the difference in that? The act of creating or the act of making something that someone will purchase or someone will want. You're not doing that. You're just creating for the sheer love of your creative passion. This is especially important for folks who are making a living selling their work. You need to take time away from the act of trying to make the almighty dollar and take time to create what others might think is just pure nonsense. Do something that is outside of your wheelhouse, or do something that might not even be considered sellable, and do it just because. Do it just for you. This can rekindle your passion for your art. It can remind you why you started in the first place. And my friend, it doesn't have to even be related to what you do as a creative for a living. It can be like me, just doing some community theater or joining a choir group, even though you're not a professional singer. Find something that you love to do and then just go and do it and create with abandon. So today's chat about creativity is all about exhaling, especially when life is a bit too fast, a bit too loud, a bit too much. And lately, that's pretty much every day for a lot of us. We all have days when we doubt our talents, we doubt the direction we're heading, we doubt our actual selves. And we also have days like Joe in Little Women, where we feel creativity blossoming in our being with a force that needs to be reckoned with. And at this time, when we have that feeling of, oh, I got to get this out, we need to let our ideas bloom and grow without the poison of our inner critic and imposter syndrome. It's times like these when we need to be able to exhale the poison and then inhale the goodness so that we can create with abandon. When we can shut the door to judgment and let our creativity flow, we find true joy. Creating with abandon, it's about rekindling your inspiration for experimentation and play. And it's about finding joy and freedom just in doing the process of your creativity. By embracing this mindset of positive abandon, you can break through creative blocks, enhance your personal growth, and rediscover the pure joy of why you love to create. It's also going to help you remember to shut the door to criticism. So today, let's start by turning on some great music. And then allow yourself to dance with abandon. Come on, let's dance. Realize the joy you feel when you dance like no one's watching. And then take this joy and create with the same abandon with whatever your creative passion might be. Exhale the poison that judgment brings and inhale the joy of abandon. My friend, I hope you are finding time to create today and that you remember to come and create each week with me as we explore all the shiny facets that creativity has to offer. Finding and practicing your creativity has benefits that are as important as good nutrition, sleep, and exercise. And one way to become a healthier and happier creative is by joining the Create Today community. This vibrant community of curious creatives enjoys workshops, tutorials, online courses, a membership, and one-to-one coaching. It's a wonderful place to meet new friends and become a more confident creative and even achieve your lifelong dreams. If you found a tiny tidbit of goodness in today's creative conversation, let me know. And please share these thoughts and this podcast with your friends and your family because everyone is creative. So let's share the goodness of creativity with everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy week to tune in to this episode of Create Today. I hope that you'll soon be dancing in your kitchen or singing in your car or creating with whatever abandon your creativity is calling you to explore. Wherever or whatever you decide to abandon positively, just remember to stay creative, my friend. And if you found value in today's creative chat and you want to continue nurturing your creative journey, I personally invite you to join the Create Today community. Inside this beautiful community, you can explore free tutorials, participate in workshops, enroll in courses, and benefit from personalized coaching opportunities. Just visit www.bdi-create.today to become part of this vibrant community of beautiful creatives. Thank you for joining me on this episode of BDI Create Today. Remember, creativity is a daily journey, and every step you take, no matter how small, contributes to your growth. And it doesn't matter how fast you go, my friend, as long as you don't stop.